strongest Mortal Kombat characters. Way overdue, right? Okay, I'm gonna put them into two groups. First, I'm gonna name you the strongest Mortal Kombat characters. Then two, the strongest Mortal Kombat characters with amps or temporary power-ups. Because some characters only had temporary power-ups and it made them extremely strong. So two groups. And I'm going to go into detail here, so get ready. Okay, so at the top of the Mortal Kombat universe, you have the one being. Existed before reality itself, living in the void with the elder gods. In fact, owning them and feeding off their essence. Basically MK's version of the one above all, but clearly not on that level as he was defeated by the 6 elder gods. But by the mere fact that it took 6 elder gods creating 6 weapons just to separate the one being's consciousness should tell you how powerful the one being actually is. In fact, you better thank the elder gods. Without them, there would be no Mortal Kombat universe. All the realms are the one being's consciousness. So basically, in short, if the one being ever were to return, he would destroy the universe. The one being is a universal threat. Simple. Next up, you have the elder gods. Of course, said to be nigh omnipotent beings, vastly powerful. Have the ability to shapeshift, size alteration, can banish you, depower you, empower you, throw you into the nether realm if they wanted to, can create powerful weapons such as the Kamidogu. Just to think, the one being had all these powers but more. Key note here, Shinnok, as an elder god, was up there in terms of power with these guys. Raiden, when he became an elder god, is also up there in terms of power with these guys. Blaze, of course created to prevent Armageddon. Well, that kind of flopped. Blaze was the last boss in the Mortal Kombat franchise of the original timeline, meaning he was greater than all the bosses that came before him. Hell, Ed Boon said himself, Blaze was at the top of the food chain. But what seals the deal is Blaze's bad ending. In his bad ending, he destroys all reality and all the realms. Difference is, people needed Blaze's power to do that. He done this on his own. Onaga, the Dragon King. Clearly a powerhouse, clearly one of the most powerful. How do we know this? Shao Kahn feared Onaga. How many people have you seen Shao Kahn scared of? Right, not many. Shao Kahn had to poison Onaga to defeat him. Telling you that Shao Kahn did not want to go one-on-one with this behemoth. He would have been destroyed. And despite this man looking like a freaking brute, he has many magical abilities. Hell, you can't even kill him. His consciousness is still around. He can empower you, as he did with Shujinko with that amazing ability. He can mind control, raise the dead, has flight, damn near immortal. All this without the Kamidogu. Onaga is a freaking problem. Believe that. Lord Raiden. Keyword, Lord Raiden. As I said before, Elder God Raiden is up there with the Elder Gods. Lord Raiden is a lesser god. But even as a lesser god, Raiden is still a planetary threat and incredibly powerful. I'm gonna do a Respect Raiden video and I will go into more detail there. But aside from that, Raiden is the man. And what a lot of people don't know is like 99% of the time you see Raiden fighting, he's either holding back or there's some stipulation. For example, end of MK9, Raiden was letting Shao Kahn win. He was jobbing on purpose. At the beginning of MK9, Shao Kahn had received Blaze's power. Basically, if Shao Kahn doesn't have an amp, he does not beat Raiden. Raiden is stronger. We have the Mortal Kombat champion, Liu Kang. And keyword, Liu Kang from the original timeline, MK1 to 4. Here's why this was special. You had a human, a Shaolin monk with incredible fighting abilities, taking on demons, sorcerers, robots, gods, emperors, and coming out undefeated. Liu Kang hadn't lost a single match in the original timeline. Not a clean one. The only character in the history of Mortal Kombat to defeat Liu Kang cleanly, and I mean Liu Kang as in Liu Kang, not zombie, revenant, no bullshit version, Liu Kang. The only character to do that was Raiden. That is Liu Kang's mentor and the god of thunder. No shame in that. Take that L, that is Raiden. Liu Kang most definitely earned his spot. Let's mention Taven and Shujinko as well. Both guys with insane resumes. Difference is Liu Kang had more longevity than them. While they were hot for one game, Liu Kang was the man in 4 games. Shao Kahn, the Conqueror of Worlds. Come on now, he had to be here. Shao Kahn is a beast. Legendary boss. Damn near conquered the Mortal Kombat universe. Fallen Elder God Shinnok. Keyword, Fallen Elder God Shinnok. Much like Shao Kahn, evil, a beast, devastating. But Shinnok relies heavily on magic instead, whereas Shao Kahn is physically stronger and more of a brute. Shinnok is more cunning and deadlier with the magic. Okay, now fused characters, or characters with temporary amps. Starting from the bottom up, we have Sindel. Of course, Sindel is already a powerhouse. You give her Shang Tsung souls, she became a monstress. Ran through the friggin' roster. It was painful. And all that time I'm sitting there watching this like, guys, shoot some projectiles. But nah, they waited their turn like some old martial art flick and got bodied. She ran through them like a hot knife through cheese. And what's painful? You'd never see some of these characters again. It took Nightwolf sacrificing himself to take out Sindel. What does that say about Nightwolf? Shout outs to Nightwolf. Elder God Scorpion. That's right, I didn't forget. Scorpion was jumped by Moloch and Draman and thrown into a Soulnado. That's right, Moloch and frickin' Draman. After being rescued by the Elder Gods, Scorpion was made their champion. They enhanced his abilities and gave him enough power to defeat Onaga. Meaning, at this time, Scorpion was one of the most powerful characters ever in Mortal Kombat. But of course, this was temporary. And he never did defeat Onaga. Shujinko did. Taven with the power of Blaze. Of course, Taven's already a top-level fighter. You give him the power of Blaze, he becomes godlike. And apparently the MK writers wanted Taven to win Armageddon. But he probably wasn't over enough and they changed it and gave the win to Shao Kahn. So once again, a temporary power-up, and essentially now never happened. Shujinko, with all the combatants' powers, as seen in his MK Deception ending. At this point in time, after taking the powers from all these warriors, Shujinko became extremely powerful and was strong enough to smash the Kamidogus and defeat Onaga. But here's the thing, this was also a temporary power-up. In Mortal Kombat Armageddon, the follow-up game, Shujinko was defeated by Melina and captured. That's right, Melina holds a victory over Shujinko. But hold on now, there's a reason for this. Shujinko will explain.
Stranger, the key you found, it will unlock my cell door. Please free me.
How do I know you won't attack me?
You have only my word. I am not here to do battle with you. My task is to eliminate Shao Kahn.
Alone? This I must see.
I thank you, stranger. I am Shujinko.
I am Taven. You plan to defeat Shao Kahn? Whole realms have tried to overthrow him.
Not only will I defeat him, but a host of his allies. They are in his chamber now, plotting some coming battle. I allowed myself to be captured. From this dungeon, I can enter Shao Kahn's soul chamber. Once there, I will be able to destroy Shao Kahn and all his allies in one stroke. I suggest you leave quickly, Taven, for I cannot guarantee your safety.
My safety? I just defeated this entire... foolish old man.
Right, so in case you missed what is going on here, Shujinko allowed himself to be defeated by Melina and captured, just so he could be close to Shao Kahn and his allies. Shujinko had a plan. His plan was to do the same damn thing he'd done in Deception. He wanted all the bad guys close together so he could absorb their powers, meaning he did not keep the powers from Deception, as he was planning on doing the same damn thing again. He was gonna go to the throne room, absorb all the villains' powers and defeat Shao Kahn in one stroke. Of course, if he kept his powers from Deception, he wouldn't need to do this again. He wouldn't need to be captured. He could just run straight through and kill everyone. So he did not keep his powers. Shujinko, essentially, to be at his strongest, needs people around him. And of course, this never happened because the bad guys left before he reached. And the next time we see Shujinko is on the pyramids getting knocked off by Shang Tsung. So yeah. And of course, in the latest comics, Shujinko clearly does not maintain those powers he had from Deception. Armageddon Shao Kahn. Of course, this is Shao Kahn with the power of Blaze. Damn near godlike and damn near invincible. Even Raiden said this in MK9. But of course, Shao Kahn didn't actually earn these powers. The last time we saw Shao Kahn, he was being taken away by Onaga. We know Onaga's stronger than Shao Kahn. That should have been his end. Even the writers said they wanted Taven to win this, but changed it last minute and gave it to Shao Kahn. No one actually knows what happened at Armageddon. You can only think because Taven wasn't over enough or a strong enough character to carry the game into a new generation, they had to give it to Shao Kahn, someone far more popular, far more over and better for storylines. So that's probably the reason. He's more established. We have seen this happen before. Many of you may not know Fujin was supposed to replace Raiden in the Mortal Kombat games, but because fans didn't warm up to him enough, they had to keep Raiden. This is why you saw Raiden come back. So they change things when it doesn't work out. So it's not something new. But hey, I digress. Shao Kahn with the power of Blaze was able to merge all realms. In fact, here's his ending.
Blaze was no match for Shao Kahn the Conqueror. His strength increased tenfold. The forces of light could not fend off his final invasion as he merged each realm with Outworld. But his ultimate triumph was soon to be his downfall. With nothing left to conquer, Shao Kahn was driven to madness.
Really? Driven to madness? That's the best you could come up with? What a cop-out. Anyways, there's one character that goes even further, displayed far more power than that, and that is Onaga, with the fused Kamidogu. Of course, Onaga's story was similar to Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, but instead of him going around collecting it, he used Shujinko as a pawn to do his bidding. Collected all the Kamidogu, then ended up collecting Shinnok's amulet from Quan Chi. That made the 7th. All Onaga had to do was now find a way to fuse them, and then that would be it. Over. In fact, I'll piece together the story so you can hear it for yourself.
The Dragon King now possesses the 6 Kamidogu and has taken the ancient amulet from Quan Chi and Outworld. Although each item is powerful beyond mortal comprehension, individually they contain only a fraction of the power needed to create the realms. To become all-powerful, Onaga must discover a way to fuse them into a single ultimate Kamidogu. In Edenia, Tanya had located the ancient texts that described the process by which to fuse the Kamidogu into one. With this information, Onaga was able to create the one Kamidogu, a tool of unspeakable power.
My enemies have failed to prevent me from fusing all the weapons of the Elder Gods into one. I used this ultimate weapon to warp reality, merging the realms into a singular existence. The Elder Gods were helpless as I used their own power against them in the void beyond the One Realm. Not satisfied with merely ruling the One Realm, I seized all that exists and merged it into myself. There can be only one consciousness. I am everything. I have become the One Being.
Right. So whereas Armageddon Shao Kahn merged all the realms, then was driven into madness, Onaga merged all the realms, went into the void, and defeated the Elder Gods. This is infinite space where there's no time passing. After doing this, he merged the one realm into himself, effectively ending the universe, making Onaga with the fused Kamidogu the most powerful being in Mortal Kombat history. Period. But as a wise Tarkatan once said, how do you rule a realm with no one in it? Of course, this was a what-if scenario. What if Onaga fused all the Kamidogu? But his powers were on display and it showed you what he was capable of. And that was insane. And that pretty much wraps this up. These are the strongest characters in Mortal Kombat. I might do strongest characters in Killer Instincts in the future. We'll see.